Hey, thanks for joining. You did it. Nice job. Introducing our project management trainer, speaker, author, and coach to thousands of professionals and organizations worldwide, including NASA, the U.S. Air Force, USACE, U.S. Army, the Department of Transportation, the FBI. Your friend, Phil. Over to you, Phil.
My awesome project managers, how are you? I hope you're doing awesome today. We are going to be talking about a topic called avoiding the pigeonhole. I got this question from one of our friends on YouTube, Maurice, and Maurice says, Phil, one thing that bothers me is that a PM is now considered to be a pigeonholed position based on their other background / experience. I'm getting offers all the time only for infrastructure PMIT. I'd like your thoughts on this in a video. So thank you very much for sending that in, Maurice. You know what makes us thrive on this channel is answering questions that you chat in. So thank you very much for chatting that in. And I'd like to answer the question briefly with this presentation called Avoid the Pigeonhole. How do you avoid the pigeonhole? How did you get into the pigeonhole in the first place? Well, you got into the pigeonhole as a result of your expertise demonstrated within a limited confine. If you really want to get out of the pigeonhole, you need to blow the lid off those confines by demonstrating that you are a master in the art of project management, period. Not just in one industry, but across multiple industries. How do you get that? By adding to your arsenal various capabilities, various possibilities. And that's what I'm going to be showing you today. So before I go any further, I'd like to invite you to study with me and with Praizion. Go to pmsucceed.com. You can sign up for one-on-one coaching, one-on-one expansion of your project management aptitude, getting ready for a job, career motivation, career development, getting ready for an interview, whatever it is. You can sign up at pmsucceed.com. And if you are studying project management, whether for an exam or something else, visit Praizion.com and check out the arsenal of tools and vehicles that we have for your project management development. So, what is this all about? It looks like a library of sorts. That is because it is a library. So what do I mean in showing you a blank library image? Well, what I'm really saying to you here is you need to expand your horizon by adding some more aptitude to your already great attitude. Some of you have got great attitudes. Attitude is not the problem. No, you've got a brilliant attitude. The only problem is that when people take a look at your resume, all they see is one track. They see that you've been in one industry, nothing else. Nothing else on your resume gives any confidence to that recruiter that you can do what they want you to do, which is go beyond what your resume may state. So if you've been in IT hardware or IT software or healthcare regulatory, and you want to get into engineering, how on earth do you think anyone in their right mind will look at your resume and feel, oh yeah, Phil will be a good one for this? Of course, Phil is not going to come across as being a good one for this, even if Phil truly is a good one for this. Phil needs to go from having nothing but software development on his resume to other things. And I experienced this firsthand trying to get into a job that was very test-driven, IT software test-driven. What I had done for many years before that was earn value, project controls, program controls, cost and schedule. And here I was trying to make the jump into IT effectiveness at Honeywell. I needed to have something extra on my resume when you really think about it. On my resume, I needed to have at least a little bit of a suggestion, a little bit, just a bit of a suggestion that I could go from being deep in the world of project controls to actually being able to do what this manager wanted me to do. The good thing is I had the Certified Internet Webmaster certification in my back pocket. I had also done a few jobs working in a business magazine company and playing around with databases and things like that. So that was on my resume, and that is why I eventually got the job in IT effectiveness at Honeywell to write test scripts, use cases, develop training, and teach people a system that we were just implementing. I was the final test man on all those tests that would run those test scripts and make sure that the system indeed had passed that hurdle. If I had not the Certified Internet Webmaster in my back pocket and a little bit of experience, a little bit, just a little bit, to give that hiring manager confidence that he wasn't just casting his bread to nothing. If not for that, there is absolutely no way I would have gotten that position. I was able to demonstrate some aptitude for that new realm. You see what I'm saying? So in this slide, you can now see what I'm saying. Study wide, add more content to your mix, more aptitude to your already great attitude. That is what is going to begin to give you more inroads to places where typically you might have received a little bit of pushback. If you cannot demonstrate that you have the aptitude for certain things, there is no way you are going to be given that chance in today's world, where we have PMPs all over the place and we have many other certifications competing. So my suggestion right off the bat is to enrich your aptitude. What do you want to get into? What do you want to manage more of? Begin to expand your horizon in that regard. Okay? Now, after expanding your horizon in that regard, after getting all this great information and, having it down, you need to go to the next level, because I can assure you this is not enough. This is not enough. So you need to go from having all this aptitude and this abilities and these ideas into getting connected. Enlarge your circle. You got to enlarge your circle with more recruiters who know about you and what you can do, more friends in strategic places, wider networks, and you should also follow firms of interest. Why do I say this? In my career, I have realized that without the recruiters on my side, there is no way whatsoever I would have been opportuned to work for the likes of Honeywell multiple times, Motorola, Emerson, General Dynamics, US Airways, now American, and many other organizations. There is just no way I could be that ubiquitous. I couldn't be all over the place. These folks helped be my eyes and my ears everywhere, finding crazy offers, crazy deals, crazy potentials to interview. Without those recruiters, no way. So if you are trying to find a job, you don't have recruiters, you don't have friends, you don't have a wide network, you need to work on that. Because it is your network of friends, your network of alliances that will be there for you, not only to tell you about jobs, but when the rubber meets the road and you are being pushed into telling people or convincing people that you can actually do a job, all you need to do is say, there's my network, there's my references, those are people you can talk to. And that is exactly how I got into that position I'm telling you about. How do you jump from earned value, project control, scope, schedule, and all that stuff, and project controls? How do you jump from that into IT, heavy IT? Test scripts till the cows come home, thousands of lines long. How did I make the jump? Alliances. One of my allies picked up the phone and said, look, I know you're the hiring manager, talking to the hiring manager. Phil is the best person for this job based on what he has done for us at XYZ department. Based on what he has shown. And by the way, he has some experience in X, Y, and Z. If you don't hire him, you've missed the boat. Click. It only took one evening or less for that hiring manager to jump on email and right quick, make me the offer. These are the things I'm talking about. These are the things I'm talking about. And if not for that ally, this hiring manager would have blown past one of the best opportunities to recruit someone who not only expanded what he was working on, but also was instrumental in making it a home run, which got him a promotion. You see how it all interweaves? You got to expand your network of recruiters, friends, and you got to follow those firms. Till today, I mean, it's been almost a decade since Trent, my recruiter friend, helped find me a bunch of crazy opportunities that blew the lid not just off my bank, but blew the lid off my career as well. Without those strategically positioned jobs, no way. What about a firm known as Manpower Professional back in the day? I was like white on rice with those folks. Totally in sync. They found an opportunity for me to go from where I was to somewhere else. I didn't need much convincing. They did it for me. I didn't need to convince this firm. They did it for me. You see what I'm saying? So you got to enlarge your circle. If you are not enlarging your circle, you could very well find yourself in the same place. Now, part of expanding your circle and alliances, you could do that right there in the world of the PMI. Become a member of a chapter, add value to the chapter, make friends with people, add value to them, and you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed. In the same token, a recent opportunity in the tens of thousands did not come from the job boards, did not come from anywhere other than my network. It just blew the lid that was restricting that opportunity from going through. The moment I introduced a network of credibility to the mix, oh, yeah, you're credible. All right, there you go. You can have it. You can have the deal. There you go. So you got to enlarge your circle, because in some very unique instances, it is not just what you know, it is who you know that can help get you in the door, even with your abilities. All right? So enlarge your circle. Definitely expand that circle until everyone knows your capability. The next tip I'll give you, I call it the Trojan horse approach. Get in small and hit big. What is a Trojan horse approach? Well, I'm more than qualified to talk about this, because in previous opportunities, I have gotten in there, just slid in there, squeaked under the garage, and the moment I'm in there, that's when my agenda begins to be unleashed. I could get in there as a janitor, but I could expand to be something much more. I could get in there as a project controller, but I could expand to be much more. You can apply this looking at companies that are the epitome of your dreams, about where you would want to be. Or you might just look at the company as being, wow, there's a business unit in there that I know if I got into this business unit, even at $10 an hour, by the time I am done, I would come away being worth a millionaire. That's how you need to think about certain opportunities. Take a look at the company. Take a look at the track record of the company. Take a look at what you could stand to gain by being in there, period. It's on your resume. Regardless what you did, it's on your resume. We need to make some of those sacrifices to move across boundaries. So from IT to engineering, okay, come in low. Come in at a level that is fair, that is not going to diminish what you can do, what you can have, but come in at a level that is competitive to all the other people 360. Get into that firm, milk the opportunity, of course, add value, learn, expand, help them grow, help them expand, but go in there thinking about how you can better your career while bettering them. You see, if you want to make the jump from IT hardware to IT software, look for that company that is looking for a project manager in IT software. Strategically position yourself cost-wise, price-wise. Do it smart. Don't hurt yourself doing it, but do it. Get in there. I call it the Trojan horse approach. You know why you're lowballing. You know why you're lowballing. That's not to say that you cannot request a salary of $150,000 a year, but you come in there requesting 100 or 70 or something that will at least get you value that you can blow up when you leave there. My goodness, I cannot even tell you how many times working in a firm like Honeywell has blown the lid off any competition for miles in many companies that I've done business with. The moment they hear, oh, you work there? Okay, well, the fact you work there, it means you know a thing or two. Imagine if I hadn't worked at Honeywell. I can't even imagine not working at Honeywell because it blew the lid off my development in project management. I mean, I was already at a reasonably good level, but getting in there, my goodness, I can't even imagine not having worked there. Maybe the same for you. Maybe you are in a company that is a bridge to nowhere, the roads to the wilderness, the road to nothing. Are you in a firm that is on the barren road to nothingness? You need to get out right quick and use a Trojan horse approach. Get into a firm. And I'm not saying that every firm has this property. There's some firms you may want to get into. It's a bad idea. No, you need to research firms. I did my research on Honeywell. I knew, and my intuition told me, look, if you get in there, that's it. And this is how many years later? My goodness, it's over 10 years later, and I'm still singing their praises. I still remember the CEO's name, David Cody. How many of you remember the CEO of companies you were in over a decade ago? It would have had to make a mark on you, and it did. So the Trojan horse approach, my friends, you get in small, you hit it big. Get in small, hit it big. Too many people being greedy for salaries. Salary ain't nothing. Salary isn't going to help you 10 years down the road. What will help you is having that stamp of approval. I talk about a book I read from Jack Welch, and he talks about how a lot of the people that were there as VPs and in the C-suite, but not the CEO, are now CEOs of many companies worldwide. Talk about getting in small and hitting it big. Those folks learn a ton of stuff from Jack. So go into a firm where you're going to learn a lot and where you're going to be able to blow the lid. The last company that I worked for before going full-time into coaching and training, the last firm, I learned a boatload of stuff from that firm. I learned a boatload. But I got in there, not necessarily in stealth mode. I think I was a little bit competitive, but it was a fair pay. But the stuff I learned from that job, my goodness, I immediately began executing it. Immediately. Getting many six-figure deals. Just like that. Because of what I had learned from those firms. So my point in the Trojan horse approach, get in small, gather all that you can, give back all of yourself, all that you can, but you want to gather all that you can as well. Don't be dumb, don't be stupid. Get all you can. Don't shortchange yourself. They're offering a course, do it. They're offering development, Don't say, oh yeah, I'm already good in that area. No, don't be ridiculous. Do it. Do everything that they're offering. If they want to send you for training, they want to build you, do it. That's the Trojan horse approach. Get in small, rake up what you can, and if need be that you move away from the company at any point, you're just gonna hit big, you know. But I do want to underscore, this is not about you just going in to pilfer. No. You're not pilfering. You gotta give, because from what you wrote in, Maurice, I know you're a project manager of timber and caliber. You got stuff to give. You can make stuff happen. Yes, when you get into those firms, make stuff happen. And that might even be the firm of your dreams where you're gonna blow up more. And people will take notice. Oh my goodness, you know. But it has to start from you getting in there. And the Trojan horse approach is you're getting in there small, low salary, in some instances, maybe less perks, but it has to be part of your strategic objective to get from where you are, being pigeonholed, to being just all over anything that you're offered. And you know, I am the poster child for that. Where haven't I worked? Healthcare, engineering, gaming, all around the place. All around the place. And then talk about where I have contracted. I am yet to see a niche where I have not done business. It's all boiling back to the Trojan horse approach, where I started off back in those days, where I started off. All right, so some of you need to do a 180-degree turn. Yeah, you're proficient in this area, but if part of your grand strategy is to be able to plug and play different projects so that you have a blast and a ball just doing project management consulting as you want, you need to change 180. You need to begin to build your repertoire of projects you've managed, of endeavors that you've been in. You know, some of you want to get into IT. It's the opposite. Some of you want to get into hardware. You need to take a cut to do that. You know, take a cut, and you'll be amazed at what can happen after that. All right, so Maurice, I hope these points are helping you and all of my other friends on YouTube, my other students. I hope these points are helping you. I have a few more points to drop, so don't go. The next point I'm going to drop is you as a PMP, you need to get associated with your chapter and volunteer. I know before I talked about getting hooked up to the network. This time I want you to volunteer. Volunteering is going to find you inroads. Volunteer as a member of the PMI, but guess what else you could do? You can also volunteer with government entities. Did you know that? Look into it. Reach out to places like the Army Corps and ask, I'm a citizen who is responsible and respectable, not running away from the law. How can I volunteer? Inroads will be found when you volunteer. I have volunteered in the past for the Army Corps of Engineers. I think you should volunteer for any government body that you wish. You know, look into the Army, the Air Force, whatever you can. I don't even know what your background is. You might have had similar background. Maybe you need to go back to some of those places and volunteer. You know, our men and women in uniform, they could do it with a lot of help. You know, and there are many other sister and brother organizations that offer abilities to provide services to government entities. You know, volunteering in some of these capacities will help you find inroads and get off that treadmill of only one way, grinding in one industry. You know, volunteer. You'll be amazed at what volunteering can do for you. It can definitely find you some inroads that you may not have previously seen. The next one that I have for you to avoid being pigeonholed, I call this absolute mastery. And I say absolute mastery demands attention. What am I saying here? Absolute mastery demands attention means be an absolute master of the game of project management. How do you do that? Well, you do that by deep deliberate, intentional, calculated study and application. Absolute mastery. By the time you're an absolute master of the game and you're put in front of one of these decision makers, you will be able to illustrate to them. They would need no additional coercion or convincing to know, Maurice really knows his craft. He really knows the art of project management across industries. Across industries. So whatever you need to do to get to absolute mastery, where you are in front of anyone and you can truly convince them in your speech, in your interrelationship with them, that you can do the job, that's what I'm talking about. A lot of this comes from impeccable communication and leadership. And of course, definitely the strategic business arm of the talent triangle. Knowing business, just being a business-oriented individual who can plug and play into the language, the speak of business. The speak of business. Very recently, I showed on this channel a book from my buddy, one of the people I look up to, Jack Welch. I showed a book. It's called the Life MBA or something to that effect. I recommend knowing business really well, knowing what makes businesses tick. It's called a Real Life MBA if I remember correctly. Knowing how businesses tick and being able to speak the language of the business. That in and of itself begins to give people confidence that indeed they can give you a lot more than just an IT project manager job. People want, in many organizations, people want to be convinced that you can speak the language of the business, they can put you in front of any customer, and that you can make stuff happen for the business. I'm just being honest. Project management is no longer just Gantt charts. It never was, but in the eyes of a lot of people it was. But it's no longer just Gantt charts and schedules and the namby-pamby stuff people do at the desk. No, it is interrelationships, interacting, building relationships, building rapport with businesses, So, Maurice, I really hope this has helped you. I know that there's a lot of information out there as far as career development, but very few of them will ever go into strategy about how not to be pigeonholed. Only your friend Phil, bringing this to you based on the question you asked. I hope you're telling your friends about this, Maurice. I want you to get me 10 friends to join this channel and to begin to benefit from this content. And all my other friends out there, please share the channel. You cannot do it enough. Let people know that there's such help, there's such advice, because to be honest with you, outside, very little advice exists, except people make you fork out huge sums. Here I am giving it to you free of charge. Okay? That's the least you can do for me, right? Get more people to sign up for the channel and to benefit from what I'm putting out. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.